Welcome back, you guys. I love you all. Welcome, Rose Little, Divine Discoveries, Angela, and Golden Spark. Thank you guys for the love, and I love you back. Welcome back to Badass Conjure. I am the Oracle / Badass Witch, Oshun Ajay. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you're excited, Divine Discoveries. I'm telling y'all, I have been in the trenches in this battle that I speak of a lot because it's something that's going on above our heads, beneath our feet, and all around us that a lot of people are just really not fully aware of. And some of us are just fully, like I said, in the trenches. So I'm drained. I was drained physically, mentally, emotionally, and all of that. But you guys give me energy. You give me love. You motivate me to go ahead and come and deliver this message. There are a lot of people who would not like for the messages to be delivered. So, y'all know that, no matter what, I am here for it. Okay. So we're going to be talking about something that I've been thinking about. It was a book that I had read, and y'all can, I'm going to direct y'all to that, and we're going to work a lot with it and basically dissecting it. And it's not really about the book, but it's a book by Napoleon Hill that I had read. And I know you guys, or some of you might be aware, or, I'm aware of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a good book, but this is not that book, okay? And what I'm talking about, again, is that directly related to this spiritual warfare, these narcissistic people and beyond, and the ways in which that these people's minds are become fully taken over. Because once we realize how this is being done, there are ways of preventing this, okay, and possibly even reversing this, okay. So but never confuse my message that if you are already, because the most important part of the message that I'm bringing to you guys today is how to recognize when a narcissist is beyond the point of being helped, being that where you will be able to help them in any way. Okay, there is a point where they have behaved in such a way for so long that it is irreversible, because they are essentially on autopilot. Okay, so there's a book by Napoleon Hill. It is there's a couple of books that I've read by him. So one may be Outwitting the Devil, and the other may be Interview with the Devil, or I don't know, but y'all, I basically, if you're part of the No Narc Network, I will be bringing you all of this information firsthand. We will be dissecting it and we will be discussing it, okay, and relating it to what we're dealing with because it is directly related, okay. And so, basically, in the book, Napoleon Hill basically is saying that he is interviewing with the quote unquote devil. And I have told you guys that the only word synonymous with these diabolical narcissists is the word devil, okay? And that the devil is not a being, a person, but it is an energy, okay? And like I said, if y'all guys have seen the movie Bird Box, then you can relate the energy that was affecting the people in that movie to this energy that we call the devil, and the ways in which that it does affect and infect people. Okay, and those with discernment, I'm sorry, are able to recognize this spirit in these people. Okay, so he was interviewing the quote unquote devil, because at some point I believe Napoleon Hill understood, just as I do, that the devil really doesn't have any power and is only using your power that you don't know that you have against you. Okay, so there is a law, a universal law, and this is the law by which we all everything is operating. Okay, and I know that we've talked about it, especially in in the Oshun exclusive and on Badass Witch exclusive, we talked about the 7 Hermetic principles. I have demonstrated how these work and kind of put together how we can use these. But this is a different principle, okay? Such like it is not the law of rhythm that is the 7th Hermetic principle, but it is the law of hypnotic rhythm, okay? And we all are subject to the law of hypnotic rhythm, and it is the law by which that the moon rotates and has its cycles. It's the law by which females are also having monthly cycles. It's the law by which the planets rotate on their axis, and there it is a law by which everything is ruled, okay, including, and most importantly, regarding this particular situation, is the human mind. Okay, so the law of hypnotic rhythm also rules the human mind. Okay, I know this and I knew it instinctively because I taught my daughters to spell their names by making it into a song. Okay, by making it into a song, because I felt like my youngest daughter was going to have a hard time spelling her name. Okay, and her name is Oceana, so it's not a very common name. Not many other people have it, and for some reason I thought she would have trouble. Okay, but she was spelling her name by the time that she was able to pronounce, to be able to talk, because I just made it into a song. Okay, so this is how a lot of, and I want y'all to relate also back to my dream, okay, because this is all ties in together about as far as the people being possessed, and but not even knowing it, in the way that I saw them being possessed, and it was subliminally, it was something that was going into their subconscious that they didn't even notice, while they thought they were getting some sort of other quality of information. Okay, and this is exactly how this is being done, and this is why there are so many. Okay, and like I said, at this point, there are 98 in my dream. Like I said, it was most of the world, but the number is 98% of the world is narcissistic in nature. Okay, so don't exclude anyone, but just keep your eyes open, because there again, you represent 2% of the people who have not been possessed in some sort of way. Okay, and again, they have been possessed by the law of hypnotic rhythm, which is being used by the enemy in the wrong way. Okay, the way that we use it in the right way, this is where, when you hear any gurus or any spiritualists, when we do our work, there is chants involved, there are affirmations involved, there are spoken words involved, there are certain things that we do. my native ancestors, they get into this rhythm, okay, of chanting a certain thing. It's because it's creating a certain vibration, okay. And it is the same thing. I can even use the analogy of to make it more physical, okay. And it is the act of sex, okay, having sex and intercourse. And you're having sex, okay. And you get to a point where that you're going to climax, you're going to have an orgasm. There is no stopping it at this point, because at this point you are on autopilot. Okay, especially for I ain't gonna say pick out a gender, but you guys know what I mean. They get to a point where you're on autopilot. Okay, so the affirmations, the chants, they're there in order for you to train your brain, in order to repeat these things repetitively. Even the stories in the Bible and other religious texts are told repetitively, so that your mind gets the because so that it becomes a permanent working in your mind. It's second nature. It has become part of your subconscious, and now you don't even have to think about it. You just naturally do it. Gymnasts, you do this. Or anyone who works hard at perfecting their art. Okay, musicians do it. Many musicians do this straight directly from their spirit, because there are some musicians that have brought their gifts through many lifetimes. So you can set a 2-year-old at a grand piano, and they automatically know how to play it because they remember this in their soul. Um, this is indicative of the law of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, you automatically, it's second nature. It's just what I do. It becomes who you are. Okay, and this is the reason why we talk to ourselves in the mirror. This is why we give positive affirmations, and do all of these, speaking life into ourselves and into other people. Okay, and we want to do this repetitively, because the more that you do it, the more, again, that it sinks into the subconscious, and it is no longer needed for you to be able to do it. It's second nature. It becomes part of who you are. Okay, so even with magic, let me look at the comments, and welcome Grandmaster Fee. Speaking different, yes, okay. So Angela, so this is your spirits speaking through you. But what I want you guys to focus on is the law of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, hypnotic rhythm is where you have trained yourself to the point where it's the thought of what you're doing is no longer on the surface of your brain. It is a subconscious action that it no longer you don't need to think about it. Okay, it's on autopilot. It has become a part of who you are, and it is permanent. Okay, unless you directly target that thing that you maybe want to change, and then you replace it with a different thought. And that is the only way to reverse these types of permanent thoughts and thought patterns and belief systems that are implanted into our minds by the law of hypnotic rhythm, whether we know that we're working under that law or not. Okay, so when we do magic, again, if you set up your working there, if you know how chants work, again, affirmations, just things that you do over and over and over again. There's a reason why you're doing that. Okay, you are training your brain to basically go on autopilot and to do it without you thinking. Okay, so the way that the enemy uses this, and again, this is directly from the book. Biologically, we are creating new neural pathways. Yes, and the way that you're correct that we're creating those neural pathways, and we need to be very careful of which neural pathways that we're creating, because you can use the law of hypnotic rhythm to create the things that you want in life by speaking life into them, by repetitively visioning these things and imagining it, and focusing, having a direct and clear focus on the things that you want. Okay, we already know that this is how it works in magic. Okay, But with the human brain, as anything, we adapt to anything. Okay, so basically in the book that I'm talking about, Outwitting the Devil, or you may be able to find it on YouTube as and if you're in the group, don't worry about it because I got it, and we're definitely going through it and we're going to dissect it. But on YouTube, I believe it's called Interview with the Devil, and it is Napoleon Hill. Okay, but they talk about that the devil talks about how he actually takes over the brain space of these narcissistic people, how he controls 98% of the world through using the law of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, and he says that his most effective weapon, okay, against humans and to be able to get into humans' mind is to get those people that he describes as whose minds he describes as drifting. Okay, and we all know what drifting is. It's just, I mean, everybody daydreams, but it's not daydreaming. It's like allowing your brain to be controlled by something outside of yourself. You could be sitting up in church listening to a pastor that's a molester that don't know a damn thing about God or the Most High, and you're taking in their bullshit, and that can also be considered drifting. Okay, the act of drifting is basically entertaining any thought or engaging in any activity without any clear, precise, definite of your own purpose for doing it, of knowing why am I doing this. Just like when I would be in church and we would be doing communion, and because of where I sat in the choir, I had a better view of the whole church than my pastor did. And I would be looking at this and all these robotic people going through this robotic prayer, eating this damn cracker and drinking some juice, and now you're supposed to really be absolved of something when half of y'all don't even understand the words that you have just spoken, but y'all all sound like a bunch of robots just hypnotically repeating it. And this is what was happening to them. Okay, being programmed to just basically do something as second nature without even thinking about doing it. You don't even know what your real reason or the meaning of why you're doing it. You're just doing it because this is what your mom and them said, or this is what the pastor said. Okay, so the way to keep this from happening and keep your mind from drifting is to always have so definite goals and definite things that you are focusing your mind on creating. Understand that your mind is always creating no matter what, and to keep your mind focused on definite goals that you have chosen for yourself and not being so much influenced from things outside of yourself. Okay, so if you aren't sure, if you're without a doubt to what end you're using your brain activity and your thoughts, and exactly why you're doing something, then you're drifting. Okay, so you basically need to be sure of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I remember having this same conversation in church with my pastor, and this is when they wanted my ass up out of there, because I remember a girl asking the pastor, what do we believe about a certain thing? I don't remember exactly what she was asking. What do we believe about? But I was just really shocked that a grown woman was asking another woman, what do we believe? Because and I had to speak up and say, at the end of the day, everybody in here needs to know for their own, and their personally, why you believe, what you believe and why you believe it. You need to be able to state that to anybody else that asks that question of you. I was very, what I'm saying, taken aback by the fact that a grown woman is sitting here asking somebody else, what do we believe? Because I've basically joined this organization. So I have to accept whatever beliefs that you guys are telling us that we believe as being, a part of the AME church or part of the whatever organization that you are. Anytime you're allowing your mind and your brain and your thoughts to be influenced by anything outside of yourself, because again, I've told you that the Most High exists within you. So anytime you're allowing yourself to be drifting outside of yourself, you are susceptible, and parts of your brain is not being used. As your own thinking mechanisms are not kicking in, right? So as long as you're drifting, your mind is open. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the narcs that and I know that y'all know that these people don't pay attention. Okay, they will sit up and do some repetitive shit, and I'm not just talking about the destructive things that they do. We're gonna get into that, but like, say they just sit up and file their nails for hours and hours and hours, okay, just to keep from paying attention to anything else. Or maybe they might want to listen to some music. Music is one of the main subliminal ways that hypnotic rhythm is getting in and having them chanting these words and doing things that without any thought at all, and being controlled by something that is not of the most high. Okay, so I need y'all to understand this, how in fact that their minds are being taken over. Because in my dream, like I said, the boss was calling them in as if they were getting some information about the company, but I was hearing that little subliminal shit in between. They weren't hearing it, but they was coming back out with that same demon inside of them. This is the same thing that they're talking about. Okay, so we all know that all is mind. All is mind. So this is where they are going to attack you at. This is where the enemy will attack you first, in your thoughts. Okay, so be very watchful over your heart, over your thoughts. When they say guard your heart, from it flows all the issues of life, they meant the heart of your mind. Okay, also your emotions, but if your mind control your emotions, if you can control your mind, you can control your emotions. Okay, because your mind is the battery of it all. Okay, your mind is what's directing everything else. Okay, so if you can get that discipline, which we are going to do in the No Narc Network, because this is exactly how he got into their mind. These people's minds were not disciplined. Now imagine the child who was left alone, neglected. Their needs were neglected. They didn't have anybody to talk to, nobody to play with. They were sat in front of the TV all day long. That is a young mind that is drifting. Imagine a child who is being abused to the point where they begin to dissociate from the reality because they just can't take it. That mind is drifting. Okay, but it doesn't only happen in childhood, but it happens a lot in childhood. So understand that this is how the enemy got in. Okay, um, the fact, like I said, it all is mind. So understand that you have to guard your mind. Okay, your mind has to be at all times, because it's always creating, whether you want to or not. Okay, so those who choose not to use their minds, and we know that's the narc, they never want to look at anything that's going to help them grow or learn, and they fight all the teachers. This is because they are infected with that narc demon, and that what is why he's there, to prevent that growth and prevent that learning. Okay, basically, if you know that they're infected with a narc demon, all of their thoughts and most of the stuff that's going to come out of their mouth, whether they're religious or not, is going to be fear based. Okay, their whole thought system is fear based and negative. So negative, in fact, that some of us can't even stand to be around them. Okay, it's most people don't really use their brains in a proactive way. Their thinking mechanisms really never kick in. Most people always asking somebody else about something. And of course, since we got 98% of people being narcissistic, everybody else want to act like they know something. So you ask somebody and they don't know a damn thing, but they gonna give you their little dumbass reason, and you accepted that. And so now both of y'all stupid. Okay, the point is to use your own brain, do your own research, and do not accept anything, not even from me, not from any book, not from anything else, until you feel satisfied in your heart that you have found and know the truth now. Okay, because it will resonate with what's already in your heart. Okay, but I'm trying to show you the tactics of the enemy and how the enemy got in, and we're going to go much deeper into it in the group. Okay, because we're going to dissect this interview with the devil, because it might as well have been titled "Interview with a Narcissist." Okay, so it's the perfect study of how this happens. But again, understand that the devil is claiming 98% of people's minds because of what he calls drifting. Okay, and y'all know that they drift. So pay attention to your narc. They all drift, and none of them pay attention. When you're trying to talk to them, they will literally sit up and fall asleep on you. That's how much they ain't in on the conversation. Okay, that's how much in another world that they are. Okay, their minds, they're completely somewhere else because the devil has their mind. Okay, and this is how the devil got their mind. Okay, so the only way out of this is to have a very strict discipline about replacing all of those negative thoughts that's being put in there with something else. It requires a lot of self welcome. Triana 407, thank you for the love, baby. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. But you have to, this, because this is why I wanted y'all to know. I know those of you who know a narc, they are in a repeating. Okay, I want y'all to, of those of you who also remember my dream about the great fire, okay, which was the second part of the time of change, and when I saw everybody burning on the planet and we were rising off of it, and I was allowed to zoom in on that little man on the motorcycle going around in circles, going absolutely insane. Okay, he represented that loop, that hypnotic rhythm where you're just going around in circles doing the same exact thing. And you know, that's what they call it, insanity, repeating the same action and expecting a different outcome. Okay, if you know a narc, you know that they repeat the same shit. If you know any narc couples, they always breaking up and getting back together. They always tearing up something. They always doing something. Okay, it's always a repeating. They do the same shit. They will sit there and apologize 1 minute, and the very next second they doing the same shit again. Okay, this is because they are caught in that loop of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, and this is how the devil got their minds. Okay, so the supernovas, I'm gonna talk more to you guys about it, but for most people I would say, and this is the truth and this is the reality. Okay, there's not, I ain't telling the supernovas anything that much different from what I'm telling y'all. I'm just going to tell them a little bit more, okay, because they have a little bit different of a mission with these people. But what I want you to know is, if you have been observing this, and I know you have, I know if you've been with them for any amount of time, you've observed this repeating pattern, this like a broken record. Even their complaints is the same shit over and over again. Their actions are the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, this is indicative of them being caught, and once they are caught in that loop of hypnotic rhythm, this has become permanent within them. Okay, so you cannot save them. They are not going to stop. They are not going to change. And again, and not, you know, being vulgar in any way, but liking it to having sex, and when you know that you about to come. Okay, you know it. You can tell them you about to come because you can't stop it. Okay, it's coming. You have gotten so much into that rhythm that you're in autopilot. This is what these people are stuck in this negative loop of autopilot, of repeating this same negative shit over and over again. It is the little man on the motorcycle burning in my dream, and it is called hypnotic rhythm. So this is what I want you guys to know. Stop wasting your time. If you know that they are caught in this loop of hypnotic rhythm, they are lost to you. Okay, I'm not saying don't pray for them. I'm saying get out of the way. Okay, these people's minds are in hell already. Hell is repetition. Okay, insanity is repeating the same shit over and over again, expecting a different outcome. You know what you've been through. Okay, it's beyond insane. Okay, and that's all you have coming is more and more of that. And just like the spiral of growth, when we grow and we go around that spiral, we're rising. But the narcissist is going down lower and lower. So every time we rise and we go around that same cycle, we're handling it a different way. We're having a different experience. We are ascending to that next level. The more that they do it, they fucking up more. They're ignoring more and more shit. They doing more and more shit. They creating a bigger and bigger hole, and they are going to experience worse and worse experiences. So I'm telling you right now, if you are in that and you know you going through that repetitive loop, you ain't nothing but a passenger on the bike of that little man I saw burning, running around in circles, going insane, and he could not leave this planet that was burning. He was stuck. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, before those fires flare all the way up, get your ass off that bike. Okay. And I'm going to read some of your comments, okay? Because this is very serious. If they are caught in that loop, they cannot be saved. Okay, you cannot save them. It is a permanent thing. This is the same. It works on the negative end and the positive. Okay, on the positive, if you train your brain to think that I am successful, I am rich. Okay, you did think about Michael Jackson. A lot of all of the most famous people in the world knew about of this law, and they used it, whether they knew the name of the law or they just naturally knew how to use it. They knew how to train their brain in order to go on autopilot to think the thoughts that they wanted it to think. And they understood that their brain was a magic box, that whatever you hold in it will manifest in your world. Okay, so by the enemy knowing this information, this is the law that he is using to enter and completely take control of the minds of 98% of the people on this planet. Okay, and I would say most of them through the music. Most of them bopping heads you see there with the headphones in their head, they don't even know what the hell they talking about. Some of the shit is mumble rap. Okay, but they in that rhythm on it. They're hypnotized. Okay, and they are being possessed. Okay, they are allowing entities to enter those parts of their brains that ain't doing shit but receiving. Okay, receiving. And what they're receiving is the whispers of the devil that I saw happening in my dream. Okay, so let me look at some of your comments, you guys. I'm falling asleep. Yes, because, and it's not funny, divine discovery. They will fall asleep in the middle of a conversation because they literally don't give a shit about what you're talking about, and they have checked out a long time ago. Okay, their minds are on whatever the devil told their mind to be on, and the very thing that the devil told their mind not to be on is you. Is God, is anything that is of love, anything that's going to be uplifting, any of the fruits of the spirit. Okay, there is a demonic emotional palette. All they feel is joy, is I'm sorry, jealousy, rage, anger, and fear. Okay, and any other thing that they feel with that, along with that, is nothing but a byproduct of those four main emotions that they feel, and they can't rise any higher than that, which is why we were rising and they were stuck on that planet burning. Okay, because the lower they go on that spiral, the hotter that fire get. Okay, and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do because they have rejected every opportunity to repent. But be very aware, and I know that y'all know, especially if you've been with one for any amount of time. Okay, if they are in fact caught into that hypnotic rhythm, um it has become a habit. It has sank into their subconscious. It has become who they are, and they are not going to change. Okay, there is nothing that you can do, and like I said, get out of the way, because as they're going down on that spiral, they're taking you with them, okay, into a place called insanity. Okay, so we're going to talk more about it, and we're going to talk a whole lot more about it as along with the book. Okay, we're going to actually dissect this interview with the devil in the No Narc Network. So I invite you guys to join. And again, there's a reason why we went private with it, but it is called, if you want to do some of your own research, but we're going to talk about it and relate it to what the infection is, what the affliction is with these narcissistic people, with these possessed people. It is all tied into my dreams about the time of change and the great fire. Okay, this is what is coming. This is what we're in right now, and this is what is happening. Okay, all of the people were possessed and did not know it, and this is because of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, so things that got put into their minds when they weren't even thinking, when they were sitting here listening to somebody else. And let me tell you, the devil has so many workers out here that are just put out here to put that shit into their minds. And yes, they are some of the musicians and shit that y'all were, that you guys have suspected. Yes, they are some of them. Yes, it's the evangelists and the charismatics. Yes, these are the people. who are getting out here hooping and hollering and having all this charisma and drawing people in, because a lot of people's minds drift because they don't have any deeply held beliefs of their own. They don't have any really goals or any direction in their life, so they just going along with whatever. Okay, so these demons, these workers of the devil, they were sent to capture those idle minds. This is where that saying, an idle mind is the devil's playground. Okay, this could not be more true. Okay, it is true. It is not just something to say. If your mind is not focused on anything definite that you are definitely trying to create, you are going to be susceptible. And this is why so many people have been inflicted and are afflicted. Okay, so if you know them, you see them in that loop, you can keep watching, you keep watching. I promise you that they are not going to change. They cannot change. They might break down and have that fake epiphany and that fake crying and all of that, like they always do. But tomorrow, that demon gonna be right back in control. And that demon don't give a damn about what that person said to you yesterday. And the demon is in control. Okay, so I suggest that you back away. If they are in that loop of hypnotic rhythm, you cannot help them. Okay, if y'all want to talk more, because I'm going in on it. I'm going in on it in the group, especially for my supernovas. Okay, we going in on it because this was what I was waiting for. All I needed to know was how this fool got in, what you were using, and I specialize in subliminalism. Okay, so we going to war. Okay, and I know y'all I'll be taking my little times out, but this is because I need to be getting all this information in, and I needed to put it together because again, it's a puzzle. Okay, so the book, if you want to research it on your own, is by Napoleon Hill. Again, I believe it's Outwitting the Devil, or Conversation, or Interview with the Devil. But again, it may have been called Interview with the Narcissist because it is the same spirit, okay, that operates the same exact way. Okay, so the way that the devil has gotten into your narcissist's mind is through the law of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, so what I want my badasses to learn is that you can also use this law, okay, to create what you want on the positive end. Okay, the law of rhythm, the hermetic law, the law of rhythm is that the pendulum, and that the everything in your life is going to swing back and forth. So you're going to have your good and you're going to have your bad. You're going to have your highs and your lows. Okay, so when you understand that, okay, and then you learn the law of hypnotic rhythm, okay, and we're gonna go into that. Then you step up your manifestations, you step up your magic. Okay, if I told y'all some of the things something that I even just manifested yesterday. Okay, and not just me, with the help of my spirits who answer me immediately. I'd be shocked. I feel so blessed. I'm so humble, and I don't even want to tell nobody about it. That's how damn it's so magical. Okay, so what I'm telling you guys is we are going in on the No Narc Network. If you, like I said, this is what you wanted to know. How did the devil get into the mind and control and get complete control of your narcissist? Your narcissist was a quote unquote drifter. Your narcissist is a drifter. Okay. And so they don't pay attention. They don't listen. They do not focus their minds. It's an empty vessel. Okay, and it is taken over, and the way to know that he's in there is he's gonna have them doing that repeating cycle of the same shit, the same shit, the same shit, the same shit. Okay, so again, if I'm lying, somebody correct me. Okay, if you've been with a narc, if you know a narc, they are like a broken damn record. Okay, they have the same complaints, they do the same actions over, and I ain't talking about little shit. I ain't talking about filing your nails. I'm talking about destructive shit over and over and over and over again. Okay, the ones that beat their wives, the ones that tear up everything in the damn house, the ones that mess up the finances, the ones that cheat, the ones that just do whatever they do. They're stuck in a loop of continuously doing it over and over again. And at some point, the same person is going to realize that this is absolutely insane. This is a pattern. And when you see that pattern, understand that that person is beyond help. Okay? I love you guys. I will be back later. I was really drained and tired before I came here, but I felt the need to get that message out. I am going to be uploading a couple of videos, and because like I said, we going in, okay, on the Napoleon Hill interview in the No Narc Network, okay? So if you really want to be in on that, you guys, look, the link is in the description. You just have to go to Oshun Aj exclusive. Okay. I'm looking at some of that. And also, Rose Little, I am going to be in touch with you because I really would like for you to assist me as the group grows with some other things that I have going. Okay. So my supernovas, I will be in touch with you guys. And for my empaths, you know what I'm saying? We all are ready to go to work. So if you're ready to go to work, be prepared. I am going to be uploading some information, but this is a big breakthrough to even understand that this is how these people's minds are being usurped. This is how these people's minds are being hijacked. Okay, quote unquote drifting. So we're going to go into the ways that people drift. You know what I'm saying? Why are you not paying attention? Because if they don't pay attention to anything. And so this is exactly how their minds was taking over. Okay, the negative thoughts, basically the law of hypnotic rhythm, it fixes thoughts and habits and actions into place until they become permanent. Okay, till it's almost impossible to break. And so these people are always going to do and say and act out this same shit over and over again. It's part of their hell, their mental hell, like the little man on the motorcycle going around in a circle. And the main thing that I noticed about him was that he was going insane. Okay, because of the circle that he was going on, because he was burning, and because he couldn't get off. When I mean, any normal person would have been like, well, he would have just got off, but it was too late. Okay, he had been doing it for so long. He had been doing it for too long. And so this is what I'm telling y'all. Once they have gotten to the point where they are in that hypnotic rhythm and they just keep doing the same shit no matter how much, because that's the person that comes back and try to apologize, or either that is that demon playing with your mind when they do them little fake apologies and say they're not going to do it again. And then they turn right back around and do it again. This is because whoever that they are not in control of themselves. Okay. And the thing that is in control of them wishes to destroy you and is destroying you. It's affecting you psychologically, mentally, physically, physiologically, and spiritually. Okay, you are at war and you are possibly sleeping with the enemy. So please wake up. Please do not ignore this message, because I know that you've seen it. I know you know. If they are caught in that loop of repetitive actions and repetitive same bullshit, they are caught in that loop of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, and we are going in on it in the No Narc Network beginning tonight. Okay, thank you all for coming. Much love and light to you all. And I may come back to YouTube later and do a live stream, you guys. I'm tired, but I feel like I will be refreshed once I take a shower. Um, and I will definitely be going into the No Narc Network, private network, because you guys, we have some work to do. Okay. Peace, love, and light to you all. Until we meet again, keep it classy, keep it clean, and do what you got to do to make shit happen.